Hi, I'm Zuzanna Zasada from Glamour, Poland. Nice to meet you guys.
Hi.
Today I am here with the cast of the new Prime Video series, We're Liars, Emily Alyn Lind and Shubham Maheshwari. Hi, guys. How are
Hi.
you? Um, I want to start from the question about the genre of the series because it's not a typical romance like some might think. It's so much more, I feel like. How would you describe the genre of that series?
Romance, I think thriller, mystery.
Hmm.
There's a bit of that. There's a lot of that. But yeah, kind of merging with this beautiful love story, we think. Yeah, probably say that.
From the beginning, your characters were, I mean, at the beginning, they were very, very close. And it's very different from another series from this typical genre because it's always enemies to lovers. And you were friends to lovers. Of course, there were obstacles later, but do you think that your characters always have loved each other but just didn't realize it?
I love what you just said. That is very true. In a lot of storytelling, there is a lot of enemies to lovers, and there's something that we really fetishize about that, you
This is a
know?
very nice change, I feel like.
Yeah, it is. I think
Yeah.
that these two have, even though they're so young, have loved each other for a very, very long time. And I don't know if they really knew what that meant to the full extent until summer 16. But I think that they connected on a deeper level. I think Gat saw something in Cadence that was special enough to stay around this kind of
Bizarre.
bizarre, get out style.
Yeah.
Um, Island, home, whatever, this family that is quite complicated to say the least.
Yeah.
And I think that Cadence felt that she was seen for the first time by Gat. And they just yeah, they had a beautiful friendship that turned to romance quite quickly
And I
as
think
they
for
aged.
Gat, somewhere he almost always felt like he was in love with her, maybe like from since he was 12, and it kind of just got deeper and deeper each summer, I think, and until it was summer 16, where it was final kind of I think deepest and and just reciprocated a little bit. So I think and Cadence was really an anchor, like a big part of why he wanted to keep coming back to the island too, even though, like she said, it was such a bizarre sort of environment for him, especially. So yeah, I think that love was always kind of there, but just went deeper and deeper with each summer.
But do you think they were better as friends or as lovers?
Ooh,
I think that Um, there was never going to be a world where they were ever going to be just
just
friends.
friends. Yeah.
Hmm.
No, and I think that that's sort of something you could apply to the great loves of our lives, which is that, the age-old idea of, well, we could just be friends
Mhm.
afterwards. There's a certain part of me that goes, no, you can't.
Hmm.
When you love each other the way that they love each other, you can't be
You
friends.
can't go back to
No,
yeah,
there's no going back. There's
yeah,
no turning back.
yeah, yeah.
How do you feel that your characters are different from the rest of the group? Because they certainly are more mature, maybe more like adults. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think so. I think Gat thinks about the world in different ways and
Lives in a different world,
lives
in
in
the
a
real
lives
world.
in the real world and kind of gets to go back to this private island and realize how artificial it is and how just put on it is and what's so cool about how like why he feels the way he does about Cadence is because he somewhere feels she listens, when he talks about the world and when he talks about how he feels. She's someone who does listen and someone who understands, and I think or tries to understand, and I think that just I don't know. I think it makes him love her even more somehow. Yeah.
I think that Cadence is only tied to reality and goodness in this world. It does not come from her family because there's a generational
It's wealth.
the women in her life, her aunts and her mother, um, live in this in this reality where it's very behind the times, you know, they say they're strong women, but they adhere to the rules of a man, and that being their father, you know, they keep their feelings in, chin up, shoulders back, and never show emotions. It means you're dramatic, never do this, don't go to therapy, all of these things. And I think that when Cadence sees God, even when they're kids, she actually senses this real empathetic connection to him, that the world is so much more vast than this tiny bubble that she lives in. And that's the world that she would love to live in. Now, if she doesn't do that, she's not, she's a very flawed character in that she is from this bubble and she lives very comfortably in this bubble. And so she's blissfully unaware, I think, on purpose a lot of the time. But when she finally realizes how much she loves Gat, that really opens her eyes, I think, um, a little too late. Hmm.
Can we expect more of your story? Can we expect a season two?
We hope so. You know, nothing's impossible. I think that there's a, you know, when we all have families that we, or not all of us, but, you know, uh, loose ends that we run away from, you know, whether that's running away to New York from middle America to pursue something, or running away to, you know, we all run away from our families at some point, or some of us do. And I think that Cadence has, but there's also something that she still has to face, which is that there's a lot of loose ends to tie up. And
Yeah. And I think just as a fan of this story, I think all the characters are so interesting and they have such interesting stories and their own arcs and stuff. And I think
anything's possible.
anything is possible. There's so many directions in which this can go to. So I think right now we're
Yeah.
just as excited as any fan would be and
Hmm.
just to
So
see what happens.
you're down for the next
Oh,
season.
Oh yeah.
100%.
We want to go back and have another
The
summer.
summer in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome.
We'll make
That's great. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. It
Thank
was
Thank
lovely.
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.